Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to a new video. Bit of a different video for you guys today because there is something huge happening in the UK at the minute, and if you're American, which most of you guys statistically, digitally, analytically are American, and I'm going to explain it to you. It's called Brexit. Now, I'm no politician and I'm no person of influence when it comes down to politics, and I don't really know much about it that I can speak of, which is why I don't really talk about it on this channel. I don't really give opinions other than the opinions in my faith, so the fact that I'm a Christian and stuff. There is something huge happening in the UK at the minute called Brexit, which is where we're leaving the EU, and that means that we have a bit of uncertainty as freelancers. So for anyone who doesn't know, a few years ago Britain decided to have a referendum, an EU referendum, to see if we would leave the EU because there was benefits and there was not benefits, and there was just this huge thing going on, and we all voted, or a lot of us voted, and Britain decided by a tiny majority, a tiny bit of a vote, that we would leave the EU. So it's safe to say the country was sort of divided into two during this time, and the main topic of the past 2 years in Parliament is the negotiations between us leaving the EU. Now, the problem that we're having in the UK is the fact that we don't know what's going to happen. So people like me who own businesses, and people who are freelancers and contractors and large businesses and small businesses, don't really know what's going to happen when we do leave the EU. And that's because there's been no deal as of yet as to when we leave the EU, what is going to happen to people in businesses. Now that I've got that out of the way, the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of you guys, if you are in the UK or in Europe, may be asking certain questions if you are freelancers, such as, is it going to be more difficult for me to travel into the EU and work there for a bit and then come back home? Do I need a work visa? Is it going to be more expensive? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you some of the articles. So I haven't actually said any of this. This is based on my research that I've done. I'm going to be telling you some of the information that I found in articles that may help you guys when it comes to Brexit and understanding how it can affect you as a freelancer, as a contractor, as a designer or creative person that travels around Europe. So a website called Markle UK has written this. It says, as a member of the EU, British freelancers and contractors have been free to work anywhere in the EU. Now that Britain has voted to leave, this may change. Workers from countries that are not members of the EU, namely the UK, once the exit is complete, need to obtain a work permit visa if they want to work in one of the EU's member states. So this means that if you are in the UK and your job right now is based in going into the EU, you're going to have a bit of trouble getting into the EU countries. Again, I don't know if this is going to happen, but this has been such valuable information to me to know that if I'm going to be traveling to, anywhere like Germany, France, Spain, anywhere, that I might need to get a work visa. So I'm doing research into it and working out if that is the case. The next thing a lot of people may be worried about when it comes to leaving the EU, if you're in the UK, is the price increase in travel. Now, this may not seem like a huge thing to the standard person, but if you are working in the EU and you're from the UK, prices to travel in the EU are apparently, according to this website, which is the freelancerclub.net, prices will increase. Now, this is probably because we're no longer in the EU. Actually, no, it definitely will be because we're not in the EU. Not too sure why, but it's something that we need to work out. So if that means, for me, for instance, if that I need to go and fly somewhere, not only do I need to get a work permit to get there, potentially get a work permit, but it also means that I may have to lower my budget, or like go for a more of a budget airliner, or try and skimp out on something when I'm traveling. It depends on the increase. It also says this on the MarkleUK.com website. It's worth noting, however, that countries such as Switzerland have struck deals that allow free movement of workers with the EU member states without being a member of the EU themselves. This is likely to be on the agenda for the exit negotiations led. So this has obviously been the case, and it's a good thing that we have this, because that means that, it won't really affect us very much for when it comes to travel, but we don't know. This is the thing. We don't even know if we're going to have another referendum as of today, and we're supposed to be leaving this Friday. We're supposed to be leaving the EU this Friday, which is insane. It's not happening now. We'll carry on. Now, something that a lot of people may not be seeing when it comes to the EU and us leaving is the silver lining when it comes to contractors and freelancers. The biggest question that people are going to be asking is my job safe? Have I got job security? Now, I always believe that if you're a freelancer and you do well at what you do, and you do the right things to get seen and noticed, and you've got good amounts of client work coming in, you're not like scraping along the poverty line, I think you've got one of the most secure jobs. No one can fire you. It's all based on the chance of someone hiring you. And if you've got a name and a presence for yourself, that becomes a heck of a lot easier. Now, what a lot of people may not be talking about is the opportunities that freelancers may get in the EU once this is finished, like once we've left. Again, this depends totally on the negotiations of Parliament, and I have no idea what they're negotiating. I know that the Customs Union has been thrown around, talk about this and that, with John Bercow shouting, down people in Parliament, which is quite hilarious. If you are American, you've never watched John Bercow, the Speaker of the House, shout someone down. Funniest thing in the world, hilarious. Order! But a website, which I will link down below in the description, has explained that there may be some good opportunities for freelancers once we leave the EU. And it says this, and again, this is not me, this is the website, and it says this. Businesses remain unclear as to whether the UK will remain in the single market. This was obviously written a while back ago, so take it with a pinch of salt. And this uncertainty is making them hesitant in hiring their own full-time staff. Until the full impact of Brexit becomes clearer, businesses are preferring to hire contractors and freelancers for certain projects, meaning that self-employed workers could well see an increase in work over the next few months. However, you certainly shouldn't expect this sudden spike in clients to last, because businesses will be quick to revert to hiring their own staff once the future of their company has become much clearer after Brexit. So again, I'm not too sure what to make of things like that, because there is so much going on, there's so much speculation. In reality, no one knows what's going to happen, and we can only hope that the government are doing everything they can to keep people's jobs secure and to make it as easy as possible, which I have no doubt they're doing. So to sum up this whole video, I wanted to do it because I don't want businesses to be worried, and I think freelancers, you'll be okay. The biggest thing is, if you're working from home at a computer and you're doing most of your communication through Skype and email, you don't need to travel, you're all good, don't worry about that. If you do need to travel, just keep an eye out on the pricing, maybe save some money for a rainy day in case you do get some work and you need to travel to the EU, and if that is the case, you may need to get a work permit or a visa. But I think the main thing I wanted to say to freelancers is to not worry. This shouldn't really affect us, not that I can see anyway, and for people who are like me in the YouTube community, we're more focused on Article 13 and content regulations and stuff like that online. I think it's Brexit has gone on far too long. No, I can't say, I don't want to get into an argument, do I? I think if you're a freelance and you've got a stable income, we should be okay. And the thing is, no one really knows yet what's going to happen. From the articles that I've given, they're down below in the description, and I wanted to put them there for anyone who may be worried about their job security as a freelancer. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Bit of a different one, but it was something that I thought I needed to share for you guys. And let me know your thoughts down below, or any questions that you may have that you want to ask me. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.